on this episode of WrestleStop. Find out what Jeff and Joe thought about SummerSlam over the weekend. What did we give thumbs up? What did we give thumbs down? And what did we kind of think was just a little bit in the middle? Stay tuned to find out. And as always, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you like what you see. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This is Joe and Jeff from WrestleStop. This past weekend here, we had SummerSlam, Saturday and Sunday, both nights, 12 matches. So we did our predictions. You guys saw our predictions. Jeff ended up winning the night 7-6. So he goes up 1-0 on the PLE scoreboard that we have going on. Next one is at the end of the month.
It's Clash in Paris.
And we'll see how I do then. So look forward to our predictions when they come out at some point once they start announcing more matches for that. But what's more important this weekend? SummerSlam. The night opened up with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Tribal Thieves. Ronson Beed, Braun Breaker, the Bronze. We saw Jey Uso get the pin for the win for the Usos, the OG bloodline, if you will. I thought the match itself was solid. I thought it was a great match. Great way to open the pay-per-view. So I give that a solid thumbs up.
Yeah, I agree. Big thumbs up for the match. It was crazy to see Roman Reigns go over the top rope. I almost botched it and I got his head. It was still cool to see. I've never seen him pull off a move like that. I did like there was kind of a reversal on the team of Roman and Jey, where in this match, Roman took a hit to save Jey and allowed Jey to get the win. So, I think in the past we would have seen Roman get the pin, but this year Roman took the fall to allow Jey to step up and take the fall. Take the win, I'm sorry. I did like the Shlubs gimmick that Ronson Beed wore down at the beginning of the match. I would like to see it continue. I think it'd be hilarious if every time he won a match, he took their shoes or took their boots or something. That would be kind of funny.
Yes, I agree.
Make him out to be a monster, more cool. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really good match. I also give that a thumbs up.
Yeah, a little scared about Braun Breaker getting hurt, though. I don't know how hurt he is. I saw the backstage stuff, him limping around in a knee brace or whatever he was in. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he stays because he's definitely a rising star right now. And who knows if they keep the tag team together. I think a lot of that would depend on Seth Rollins' health. Mm-hmm. If he can actually continue wrestling, if the injury was a complete work, he's going to continue wrestling. They may decide to keep them a tag team. If he is got to be out, maybe he just does some appearances as champion, they might have them wrestle more one-on-one. So we'll see.
Cool.
All right, second match of the night was the Judgment Day versus, as we like to call them, the Best Friends, or Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think WWE got what they want by putting the two of them together. Charlotte Flair started to seem like she was getting some cheers again.
Gross.
The fans have been kind of against her as of late, and maybe they were trying to use this tag team as a way to push her over again. They did end up getting the win. Near the end of the match, Alexa Bliss did hit Flair. I thought that might be a turning point while, maybe that would help the Judgment Day end up winning the match. But no, Flair and Bliss won the match and are the new women's tag team champions.
Did they win? Where was I?
Yeah, we were kind of checked out. Remember, we started playing on Saturday night. We had the timing wrong, so we were playing a little catch up on that.
Yeah.
So Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair got the pin. New women's tag team champions.
Okay. And, all right.
I thought it was a decent match. I would have given it a thumbs up. I'd watch it again.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit against that. I'm gonna give it a mid-grade. Thumb in the middle. I didn't hate it. Didn't like it. I'm not a fan of Raquel Rodriguez. I think her wrestling is kind of boring. She's kind of like a slight upgrade to Jade Cargill, in my opinion. Yeah. Where Jade Cargill has no skill, Raquel Rodriguez is at least showing improvement. She is looking better every match, but she's still she's better as a heel. I don't know.
Yeah, she's better as a heel. She's a towering presence, while Jade Cargill's big, and she just comes out clumsy, where at least, Raquel doesn't have a lot of moves, but she does come across as a towering presence in the ring.
Yeah. So she's doing better. So good for her for that. But I don't know. I gave it a mid. I was kind of, as you can tell, I was a little checked out on that match. I don't even remember who won it, to be honest with you. So anyway, so next up we have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I think you know what my opinion is on this one's going to be. I'm going to give this a solid thumbs down. I don't understand what the WWE is doing with Karrion Kross. I've mentioned it before. I know his contract is supposedly up this month. Maybe they're just going to let him go. Maybe they're going to let him walk so they don't want him to beat Sami Zayn or something like that. But at the beginning of the pay-per-view, they were advertising Karrion Kross's book, which comes out tomorrow. So I can't see them advertising his merch if they're going to let him go. But then they're just kind of burying him against tools like Sami Zayn. So I struggle with that. I think he obviously needs to be pushed. I don't know if you saw it, but the stuff afterwards where it was the post-conference where we want Kross and Triple H was like, oh, hear that? They want Lesnar. No, they don't. They want Karrion Kross. That's what everybody wants. Karrion Kross. He doesn't need to be the world champion. I would love it if he was world champion. But some type of sustained push, maybe Intercontinental, maybe U.S. heavyweight, something like that. At least in that tier would make everybody happy, would make me happy. The fact that he's a huge moneymaker as far as merch goes and all that stuff, and they just have him lose to Sami Zayn, he had a cool theme song, and they even changed that. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what their thought is on that, but that's a thumbs down for me.
I give the match a thumbs up. I liked the match. I thought it was entertaining. I too was confused by the result. You were more disappointed than I was. I didn't really have a buy-in in the match either way. I don't understand what the point of it is having Sami Zayn win unless Karrion Kross is gonna leave. At that point, you set him out on a loss. Hey, we pushed you one last time. We gave you a big SummerSlam match to help more merchandise sales, to help you push your book. Thanks for your time, but see you when you see it. The match was a thumbs up. I didn't have much of a care one way or another, but I thought it was entertaining. So. Next, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade for the one of the women's championships. The match was terrible. I tried to buy in. Tiffany Stratton's interesting. I think she puts on some pretty good matches. She's not a great wrestler, but she's athletic. She puts on some rather entertaining matches, but just I can't stand watching Jade wrestling. Yes, she's built like a brick wall. She's a beast. But man, her matches are terrible. There was one spot in the match where Jade was going up on the top rope, probably trying to do a top rope finisher. And she wasn't even pulling Tiffany Stratton up, and Tiffany Stratton is leaning against the corner, climbing up herself, waiting for Jade to pull her. And it was just so obvious what was going on. It was just terrible. So definitely a thumbs down on that match. You couldn't remember the previous match. I could barely remember this match other than the one botch. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. Terrible match. Pretty much, I don't think Jade Cargill's even had a mid match since she's been on WWE. I know what AEW pushed her like she was the next Brock Lesnar, but female form. But she's terrible. And Tiffany Stratton, I do think is good, but I don't think she's good enough to carry Jade Cargill to a match.
Definitely did not carry this match.
Yeah, if they're going to put Jade Cargill, they need to put her against like a Bayley or something like that. Someone who can carry her in a match and make her look good, because on her own, she's terrible. Yeah, solid thumbs down for me on that. Next up, we had Randy Orton and the Jelly Roll against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I'm giving this a huge thumbs up. I think Logan Paul is a monster. I don't care what anyone says. I think just forget all his other crap. Just wrestling, he's one of probably the most athletic people on the roster, in my opinion. At least for the crazy stuff that he does. I think Jelly Roll was surprising. I think he did good. Someone said he lost over 200 pounds, 250 pounds or something like that, which is absolutely insane. That's as much as I weigh. So he lost to me to get out there, which is insane. So, hey, props to him for that. But star of that one for me was Logan Paul. Jelly Roll's getting all the credit for taking the bumps and taking the hits and all this stuff, but Logan Paul's the one who did them. So, I think it was great that Logan Paul got the win over Jelly Roll. I know I predicted it the other way, but I do think that was the right call. I heard it changed midway through. I heard something changed.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that yet.
That's something I read on somewhere. I don't remember where I read it, but either either way, I like the match. I give it a thumbs up. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre were just supporting players to me in this. Everyone knows what they can do. They're both great. But this is more about Logan Paul and Jelly Roll, which we'll probably see down the line sometime, I'm guessing. But, yeah.
I agree. I give it a thumbs up. I don't like Logan Paul, but he's a great heel. Like I love to boo him. My family loves to boo him. But when he's in a match, it's going to be an entertaining match. There's going to be at least one spot that he just blows your mind on what he does, and him going off the top, doing a 90-degree turn in the air, hitting Jelly Roll. Like you said, Jelly Roll was great. I thought going in it was going to be awful. I thought his spots would be bad, but I thought he might be in the match for 5-6 minutes, but he was in the match, I think, as much or more than Randy Orton.
Probably more than everybody.
He was in there quite a bit, and he took a beat, and he kept coming around. I saw an interview with him, and he says he wants to continue losing weight, and his goal is to be at WrestleMania next year, and he wants to hit a big splash off the top rope. So, early prediction, Jelly Roll with a big splash over Logan Paul at
WrestleMania. Maybe.
So, but yeah, definitely thumbs up on the match. It's definitely entertaining. I like watching Logan Paul matches. Usually, I like to watch him lose. And Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, some of our favorites. So you knew they were going to put on a good match. So.
Yeah, it was a good match.
All right, and the last is the next is the last match of the night, Gunther versus CM Punk. Another good match. I like Gunther matches. I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but he's another entertaining wrestler. He knows how to be a main eventer. They put out a big match. I was a little surprised, not by the result of the ending, but just how quickly it turned, with Gunther dominating most of the match. And then, getting hit on the announcer table, going underneath, probably cut himself under there, came out, and he looked like he was scared of his own blood or shocked by it somehow. And then CM Punk hit 2 go to sleeps, and that was the end. But entertaining match overall. I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a thumbs up too. I thought it was a little predictable on what was going to happen at the end with Seth coming out and pinning CM Punk. But how come there's a part, and I'll try to post it on here, I don't want to get copyright picked up by WWE, but CM Punk was tapping when Gunther had him in the finishing move. I mean, he was clearly banging the mat. No one said anything. I haven't even seen any of the rumor mills or dirt sheets or anything like that even talking about that. So maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. So I'm going to have to go back and look.
He definitely tapped. I was watching it when you said it. We both looked at each other at the same time. So did he just tap out? We were shocked that it ended there, but the ref didn't call it. So, maybe somehow there's a signal the ref knows whether a tap is a real tap and I quit, or just, hey, I'm tapping because this hurts,
Yeah, maybe the ref knows that, but the viewers don't know that. They see a tap, it's a tap, right?
Yeah.
And then Seth coming out, pretty much everybody knew that was what was going to happen. I'm going to take credit for getting it right.
You got it right.
But I think a lot of people knew that was going to be the result, and that's fine.
I was at the edge of my seat waiting for it. I like the way they dragged it on. 5 minutes and 9 seconds, the shortest WWE title reign in history. But they dragged it on long enough that I started to doubt whether or not it was going to happen. So when it did happen, we were that much more excited.
So again, this is, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong here too, but I think this is going to lead to a WrestleMania match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, where CM Punk will finally get his win at WrestleMania that he's been wanting since he's come back. That's my opinion. I don't know. We'll revisit that later down the road.
As much as a Seth Rollins fan as I am, I think I have to agree with you.
All right. So that was Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
Overall on the night, I'll give it a thumbs up. It's probably not a strong thumbs up, but I'll give it a thumbs up for the night. I thought
it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I was happy we finished 3-3 after the first night. Kept things tense for the second night.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So then on to Sunday, which was a huge improvement in my opinion. Started off with it's my turn, right? Started off with champion Naomi coming out to her dad playing guitar, which was cool. Finally on Sunday, one of my issues that I had on the first night was there were no cool intros.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to those. I know WrestleMania used to be big for them and stuff like that. The Rock used to come out with the flamethrowers and all this crazy stuff, but they've kind of done away with that a little bit for some reason, and I think that's part of the spectacle, and they should bring that back. I'm sure there's probably a money thing involved there, but
I definitely think the entrances on night 2 made the event feel more like the size of a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it felt bigger. Yeah.
Starting with, like you said, Naomi coming out to her dad playing the guitar, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. I give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good. I thought the end was probably a little quick the way it happened. I don't know if it's a no rules, or I don't remember what the stipulation was, but
I don't think there was stipulations. Just a triple threat.
But Rhea Ripley complaining that she was pulling her tights or something like that, and she should know there's no rules or something like that. So some of that was kind of goofy to me, but I think the match itself was entertaining. It was good. The right person won. I think Naomi should continue her championship. I think I mentioned before, Rhea and Io don't need it right now. And it's good to keep it on a heel, and Naomi's good in the role she's in.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely gave the match a thumbs up. I thought it was entertaining. I think those are three of the better performers in the women's division right now. They always put on
Not Jade?
matches. Not Jade.
Not Jade? Okay, not Jade.
No, but I think any one of the three could give Jade a good match. But, we'll see down the line.
Carry her to a good match.
No, I think Naomi winning was the right move. Let her carry the belt a little while. They're going to continue. The ending also built on the Rhea versus Io storyline. Maybe Rhea will have an opposite Undertaker storyline. Rhea's never won SummerSlam. I don't know how many times I heard that. Rhea has never beat Io Sky. So they made it look like Rhea was going to finally beat her. She was going to finally win at SummerSlam. She was going to finally pin Io Sky. And then Naomi came in with the roll up and pulled the tights, which is a great heel move to get the victory. So great match. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah.
So next match, TLC match, by far the best match I think of the night and the weekend. I thought going in it would be highly entertaining. Those were six tag teams made for this type of match, and man, did they pull out all the spots. Just completely amazed. We just cheering the entire time. It was cool, I thought, at the end to see the women get involved. Each of the three women getting involved to try and help their men's tag teams win. So that was pretty cool to get them involved. The Wyatts in the long run though, but there's five of them. You know what I mean? So they just, every time one of the other teams would get close to winning, somebody else would jump in the ring and clear them out. So, but overall, it was a great match. Definitely a thumbs up on that.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a thumbs up too. One of the top, I think there's another one, in my opinion, that might have been a little more entertaining. But it's definitely one or two for me. On the night, definitely a thumbs up. I'm happy the Wyatt 6 won. I think there's another one that need to carry on their title reign a little bit longer. The issue I had, though, is when the Wyatts won, the crowd booed.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Which leads me to think either the Wyatt 6 are looking like heels to the crowd, or they're just not over.
Yeah. They've been cheered. They get cheered every time you see them.
Yeah.
So
I think they were getting cheered, and this was kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword, right? I think they were getting cheered because they were used so sparingly.
Maybe.
They were like a special event type of thing. And now that they're used every week because they're the champions, I think people are just kind of getting tired of them a little bit, which, I don't know. That's weird to me because I think they're a great tag team. I like Gacy. I like Dexter Lumis. I think they're great. I know Gacy came straight from NXT or whatever, but I think they're really good.
A tag team like this, though, I'd rather they be heels. This group, heels that
they should
like
be heels.
Heels. I mean, they're supposed to be scary. They're supposed to be kind of like the early Undertaker and all that. So, definitely, maybe they'll build toward something, more interference from the outside, and they'll start building up as a top heel tag team. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But everybody in the match pulled off some crazy stuff that you couldn't probably pay me enough to do.
I thought it was cool to see when Rey Fenix jumped up on Andrade's shoulders.
That was a good one.
Hurled himself up to the belts, and then
that would have been a sweet way to end it.
Yeah.
I would have been perfectly fine with that. I would have took the loss.
Yeah.
But I would have been perfectly fine with that win. Or even when Ciampa was doing a Spider-Man hanging upside down and crazy stuff. There were just crazy stuff in that match. It was a good time.
Spear off the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
And, so that was pretty cool.
Super entertaining match. I liked it a lot. Next up, we got Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria in a no DQ match.
Too many stipulations.
There was a lot of stipulations on this night. I give it a mid again. I hate giving mids, but parts of it I liked, parts of it I didn't like. I know you struggle with Becky Lynch sometimes. I think she's a decent wrestler. I don't not like her. Right, I think she's okay. I think Lyra's good. It's just botches, man. It's the goofy stuff. I mean, the one that sticks out, everyone's talked about, is the one where her hands were, two things. Her hand zip tied, she held her hands together while Becky Lynch zip tied her with no resistance. There should have been some kind of at least fake, like her don't want that to happen. And then when her hand came out, and then she like tucked it back in. So some people are saying, well, it was a very, very good move that she tucked it back in, right? She's very, very wise in the ring or whatever. But the way it happened, I mean, her arms were like apart.
Yeah.
And then she tucked them back in. She should have left them apart, in my opinion. Just say, "Oh, I got out," because her hands being zip tied up didn't. They could have modified whatever they had to do after that. They're both professionals. They could have done something else.
Yeah, that's the issue with the HD era we talked about. You notice those flaws when her hands came out. It's very noticeable when you're watching in HD. Same thing when you see the refs giving direction in the ring. They've got to be a little better with their direction and production and try to hide that stuff. Now, obviously, you can't hide her hands coming undone.
That's why she should have just left them out and like she broke free.
Because I thought when she put it back in, well, this is how the match is going to win at that spot. I believe Lyra's going to win. She's going to do some crazy move with her hands in there, and she's going to end up winning. And it's just, I guess, all it really led to was her doing that one backflip off the top rope, and shortly thereafter, she cut her hands free. So yeah, it just seemed odd. They should have fought on the fly and maybe changed the match at that point. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of a letdown there at that point, so I would have given that a thumbs down as well. So.
Well, I give it a mid.
Oh, no, I give it a mid. Down. Yeah, something about Becky. As much as I love Seth Rollins, something about Becky Lynch hits me the opposite way, and I just in the Lyra Valkyrie just hasn't won me over yet either. So yeah, I think that match I had to review today, review some notes to figure out what I wanted to talk about. All I could remember was the hands coming free. So
yeah, that's not good. If all you can remember from a match is the botch, like you were talking about in the Jade Cargill match, then there's something bad about that match. But
all right, well, on to the next match. We had Jacob Fatu versus Solo in a steel cage. Again, another stipulation match that night. They came out rather early. The MFTs came out, attacked Jacob Fatu really early on, and started interfering with the match. Big Jim came out, tried to help, and just caught a big boot from Tala Tonga. He was pretty much out of it the rest of the night, and the rest of the MFTs kept interfering. At one point, they handcuffed Jacob Fatu to the top of the cage, and I thought that was for sure that was the end. And the camera cuts to Solo getting ready to get out of the cage. And next thing we know, Jacob Fatu comes running over, and we're like, again, looking at each other like, well, how do you get out of the handcuffs? So who knows? Maybe he wolfed up like Teen Wolf and shoot his way out of the cage or whatever, shoot his way out of the cuffs or whatever. But yeah, I thought the match was decent, but I'm going to give it a thumbs down because I expected more. I expected more from Jacob Fatu, just being, he's a big guy, but he's a flyer. I thought it was cool at the end after the match. He did go off the top of the cage, but I looked for something like that during the match. So, yeah, I don't know. Overall, I give it a thumbs down.
Yeah, so for that match, I give it a solid thumbs down, too. I thought it was terrible, especially with as much as I like Fatu.
Yeah.
And I like his matches. I was really disappointed by that match. I would have been okay with Solo Sikoa winning, as long as the match itself was, everyone knew the MFT were going to come in and stuff like that. I mean, that was obvious, but the match itself was just boring. I don't know if that's because of their style difference, maybe because Solo is more of a brawler and Fatu's he's kind of a brawler, I guess, but he does the jumps and whatnot. But I don't know, something about that match was missing. I didn't like the interference when Jey Uso comes out and he runs up. He basically looks at Tala Tonga, but then attacks the other two, and then turns around and gets kicked in the face by Tala Tonga. I mean, everything was just a little off for that match.
Maybe Tala wasn't supposed to be there at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So besides the cross match earlier from the day before, this was my biggest letdown of the night, just because I expected so much from this match. I
for Jacob in this match, so
yeah, I really thought this match was going to deliver, and it didn't. Next up, we have Dirty Dom versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm giving this a too enthusiastic thumbs up.
I'll give it the one I have.
The one you have. I think this match was great. I loved it. I loved all the storytelling. I loved the Eddie Guerrero stuff that both guys did. Dom unzipped his boot, which is something that Eddie Guerrero did against Kurt Angle or something many years ago. I think the match was fantastic. I think Dirty Dom everyone talks about Braun Breaker and, who's the other one? Jacob Fatu and stuff like that. They all talk about. I think Dom might be the future of WWE. I really do.
I think he's the best young star they've got right now.
Yeah, he is so good with his storytelling, and his matches look clean. I don't see too many botches from him.
You can clearly tell that he was raised in wrestling. He's comfortable in the ring. He's great heel. He's willing to do anything. Like I think I mentioned in the prediction I read, he's got like the most losses in WWE over the last couple of years. So he's willing to do whatever it takes, whatever they ask him to. So
yeah, he was a beast. And AJ was good too. I mean, he was really good. I know Holly was mesmerized by his hair flowing when he ran and stuff like that. He has nice hair, sure.
If anybody knows what type of conditioner he uses, put it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
We'd like to fix them up.
I think the match though was great. I thought it had great storytelling, great wrestling, great everything. I really liked that match. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was cool to watch. I had some questions on why AJ Styles come out, in the car instead of Dom when Dom's the one tied to it. But either way, it was cool to see the throwback to old school wrestling 20 years ago. The Eddie Guerrero versus Dominic Mysterio for the custody of Dominic match. So that was pretty cool to see the throwback. Yeah, it was definitely an entertaining match with more storytelling if you know what's going on. So really
very good match.
Alrighty, and then the last match of the night, last match of the weekend, we had Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the championship in a street fight. Again, I don't understand the need for the street fight in this match. I found maybe John Cena has a history of street fights because Cody said he wanted the real Cena, and I went back and looked it up, and I can only find 2 other instances where John Cena was in a street fight. So again, it's just I don't understand the stipulation. It would have made more sense if Cody was going to turn heel, as a lot of people predicted, and that didn't happen. So it was an entertaining match. I definitely give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed watching it. I just, again, why all the stipulations? Every match didn't need to have a stipulation. And this one, to me, made the least amount of sense out of all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I also give it a huge thumbs up. I thought the match was great. If you look at just the match part of it, I thought it was fantastic. Much better than the disaster WrestleMania match that they had. Yeah. That was WrestleMania, right? Yeah. With Travis Scott and all that crap that happened. This match was so much better. Probably the best match that these two have had together or individually even in a long time. John Cena's always looked kind of stiff, kind of old to me since he's come back. I think that's because he is kind of. Cody Rhodes has looked bored almost. And I feel like this match was really good in that way. I really liked it. I'm glad Cody Rhodes won. Not so glad about what happened after, though.
I don't understand the after. I don't understand the why. I thought, Brock Lesnar was done. But it appears, I was reading some articles today, the legal team cleared him. So they must expect something to be happening in the coming weeks with the lawsuit. But even that, if you're going to put, if Brock Lesnar's coming back and going after John Cena, why would he wait till after he lost the title? That storytelling, I don't mind that Cody Rhodes won. But Brock Lesnar and Cody have a thing. So why would he came out and gone after the championship? That's, Brock Lesnar's a championship wrestler. He would want the championship. So for storytelling, I didn't understand why John Cena lost and then Brock went after John Cena. That part of it just didn't make sense to me. So we'll see how they explain it in the coming weeks if they bother.
They probably won't bother.
Yeah.
I think it was Cody's farewell tour. They're trying to line up some John Cena's farewell tour. So they're just trying to line up some old rivalries he's had in the past.
And they did say that, I did see online an interview with Triple H that while they're trying to meet as many requests as John Cena has for his last year wrestling, they can't meet them all, but Brock Lesnar was one of the requests he had. So,
I think it should be Karrion Kross. No, I'm just kidding. So thumbs up for me on that match. I'm not sure if I said that. I was thumbs up from Jeff as well. Night 2 definitely gets a thumbs up for me. Much stronger thumbs up than the first night. Even though the first night wasn't bad, it just wasn't. It didn't feel like as premium as the second night to me.
Yeah, they say their biggest star. They think the biggest stars for the second night. And they did big entrances, and all that for the second night. And it felt, wasn't quite WrestleMania big, but it did, I think, was a worthy 2-night event. I think they earned a 2-night event, and I'm excited to see next year's SummerSlam. So
yeah, good time. So got anything else?
No, that's it. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think. comments below. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. You're going to see some changes with the set hopefully here fairly soon. We got a couple more in this set that we got going on, but we are changing things up a little bit. I've been doing research to do my research to kind of make this a little less stiff than it currently is. Which we are aware it's stiff. It's going to get better. Relax. So yeah, like Jeff said, like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.